So, tell me something terrible.
Hi, and welcome back to Tell Me Something Terrible. This is episode 2. I'm Tiffany.
I'm still Scott. You're laughing already.
Yes.
That's good. Okay, so we're doing 2 episodes a week, but we record them the same night. So if you just listen to episode 1, it's been 6 minutes since we recorded that. We've just had an entire drink in between. So this episode is going to go super smooth compared to the first one.
How's that wine treating you?
Red.
It's a great way to treat you.
Yeah. How's whatever concoction you have treating you?
My whiskey and wine?
That seems dangerous.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you need like an open flame as well? Just
No, I'm just going to set it here for easy access.
Okay, she's definitely going to knock her drink over in this episode.
Probably.
So when you hear a hard pause and then a restart, we're just cleaning stuff up.
Yep.
Okay.
So for this episode...
we talk about terrible things. In case you didn't listen to episode 1, which is fine. Welcome. And we're married, so just ignore us. But, so yeah, she says terrible things, and I listen.
Okay.
/ interrupt.
All the time.
All the time.
Ready?
Yep.
All right. So today's episode is going to be a tad more depressing than the last episode. So I am going to start with a trigger warning. This story does mention.
Feature. No,
Yes.
It's the focal point.
Well, you're going to be happy about it at the end.
Wait, what?
Oh, it just keeps getting worse. You won't be sad about it. It mentions.
Don't tell me how to feel.
It mentions a suicide.
It mentions a suicide?
Well, I mean, like, there is
Like
a suicide.
in passing?
Yes. No.
Yeah.
It involves a suicide in some point. So
Our
I just
anti-hero is going to be suicided. Commit suicide. That's how you say that. I'm guessing.
aren't anti-heroes just good guys, like Deadpool?
I took Shakespeare in high school or in college, and I don't remember.
Did you sleep your way through it?
No.
Like every other class?
No.
Cheat by writing answers on your boot?
I thought you meant like with the teacher. I was like, his name was Greg, and no, I didn't.
No, I meant like napped. It's gonna be great, guys.
Yep. Anyway.
All right, let's get
Proceed.
started. So do you remember Jeepers Creepers? No?
Sure.
Yeah. It was a horrible horror movie from 2001 that features...
2001, I was 13.
Yes.
Growing up in a conservative household, never watching a movie that wasn't like animated. So no.
Well, this is rated R, so you definitely did not see
No,
it.
unless I watched it at Jamie's house, which none of you know except Jamie, who may be listening. No, I didn't see it.
Okay, well, I watched it because my parents just let us run around like heathens.
I've seen Wranglers with Jeepers Creepers across the top.
Why?
Jeep
Oh,
Wranglers.
got it.
Did you think I was talking about jeans?
No. Yes.
Just denim, just with
Instead of
bedazzled,
juicy,
just bedazzled Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, please, I need those.
Yeah.
Very, like, obscure reference. It would be great.
Yep.
So it's a horror movie from 2001 that features some monster that has to consume parts of people in order to gain whatever organ he needs. It was vastly...
So it's like the Wizard of Oz, just super, super dark.
Yeah, it was...
I need a heart, but I have to eat one.
I was very underwhelmed by the whole movie. I hated it. Sorry for people that actually liked it. So the opening scene
Both
involves... Yes, I'm sure there was more than one. They made 4. Just kidding. They've made 3 and just released a trailer for a 4th Jeepers Creepers in August.
That tells you how bad it was.
Yeah. Like, they're still making it. The trailer was released in August of last year. So, yeah.
I'll tune in for that 4th one then.
Oh, that's what we should do.
No.
Whoa. You don't want to have a Jeepers Creepers marathon after this?
No.
You will after I describe the intro. You ready?
Sure.
Okay.
The intro to your story, the intro to Jeepers Creepers?
Both.
Terrific.
Yes.
Wait, is this suicide or cannibalism? I'm confused about this. All right, just read
Murder.
It. Just read it.
It gets worse. So, you murder who? So, the opening scene involves 2 siblings bickering with each other. One is that one kid from... he was in a ton of stuff. Like, the guy is kind of scrawny, little nerdy looking. He's got brown hair. He was in the movie with a weird kid that goes,
Justin Long?
Maybe.
That was a kid from Accepted.
Yes!
Is it?
Yes!
Wow.
Yes! I knew you would know.
We live together.
And we've known each other for...
Too long. The answer's
13 years now. I knew you'd know him.
I actually saw him today because he has a podcast.
Does he really?
Yeah, it's called Life is Short with Justin Long or something short. But it's punny enough where I recognized it.
Of course.
Yeah.
So they are driving in an old car, the opening scene of this movie, down some winding country road, and this huge, bulky, steampunk-looking tank of a van comes tearing up behind them, honking like a crazo.
And it's Jack Black from School of Rock. No? Okay.
No. Nope. Close. So he almost runs them off the road. Then eventually it passes them, and there's a close-up shot of his license plate. And then the two teens spot this dude behind this decrepit old rundown house, dropping very obvious human-shaped bodies down a culvert dug straight into the ground. And so the sister goes, wrapped up in a sheet with red stains on it. It'll come back. Like a good callback.
Okay.
Sad callback. Anyway, he sees them seeing him and tears off after them again and rams them off the road. Cut to the next scene. The siblings are, of course, investigating the old house with the culvert, and cue the ominous murder of crows and the nasty smell of dead bodies. So the movie continues, and it gets worse from there.
Like more tragic, or actually just gets terrible?
Oh, it's so bad.
Well, we are. Tell me something terrible. Maybe you can just give me a synopsis of the Jeepers Creepers marathon you're going to have by yourself.
Yes. Well, from what I remember, because I hated it, never watched it again, they wind up investigating it. I think the sister might die.
Spoiler alerts. She is the worst spoiler of anything ever.
Anyway, he winds up falling down the...
No.
Okay.
Let people live not knowing the end of that crappy movie.
Fine.
I don't want to know.
All right.
Maybe I'll watch it sometime.
Doubtful.
Is it on Disney Plus?
Also doubtful.
That's the only thing we ever watch, ever. So,
So I told you all of that to tell you this. There's a prevailing theory that the intro to Jeepers Creepers was based off a close encounter with a pair of siblings that had with a murderer in Michigan, in Coldwater. So not far.
No, not.
I mean, maybe we shouldn't tell people where we live.
We live around. I actually don't know which direction Coldwater is from here. So.
Oh, it's very unlike a Michigander. Are you sure you're from here?
Yeah, I just don't know which direction Coldwater is. She's pointing with her pen. Don't worry. Secret's still safe.
Yes.
Although you can just Facebook search our names and it'll tell you where we live. So that's cool.
How about you don't tell people how to stalk us? That'd be great.
Both people listening to this do not care. And they already know us.
Valid. So this specific event was featured on Unsolved Mysteries, which quickly brought an end to the tragic story of the death of Marilyn Depew.
Depew. Never mind.
Don't. She dies. Don't. You can make it for her husband, though.
I was just going to make a Pepe Depew. Sorry. That's all I have. Is cartoon references from the 90s.
Ray and Mary Thornton recalled that day in an interview with the aforementioned Unsolved Mysteries, Easter Sunday, 1990, outside of Coldwater. This particular set of siblings were going for a drive through the country, which one was wont to do in the Midwest. The pair were southbound on Snow Prairie Road when a van came hurtling up behind them, passed them, and kept driving in a massive hurry. Because it is the Midwest and we have nothing better to do but go on drives and play license plates games, Ray and Mary made up a game of their own.
Follow the crazy man in a van?
No.
Let's find someone who looks super suspicious and follow them. That's safe.
Yeah. No. Mm-hmm. Just wait. It's like you know the story already.
I don't.
So they come up with one-liners based on the plates of other vehicles. And because of this, they specifically remember the first two numbers of the van's plates were GZ. Several miles down the road, the Thorntons came across the same van, only this time it was parked behind an old schoolhouse, holding on to what Mary described as a bloody white sheet. Ooh. Callbacks. So they kept driving. A few moments later, the van sped up behind them again and tailgated them for nearly 2 miles. Finally, Ray pulled off the road, and when he noticed the van had also pulled off, the Thorntons turned around to try to get the rest of the plate number and as many details as they could because they were sus. By the time they turned around to investigate further, the man in the van was replacing his plate with a different one, but the passenger door was wide open and, of course, covered in blood. Now the Thorntons were very sus. They decided to investigate even further, so they headed back to the old schoolhouse and found the white bloody sheet shoved into an animal.
Shoved into an animal?
Nope. Shoved into an animal hole, left an entire word out.
What year was this?
1990.
Okay, so like before like true crime podcast. These two would definitely be into true crime.
Oh,
if
for
they
sure.
were this suspicious and
Followed
doing
them.
diligence and trying to get license plates.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
and they wound up they told this story in an interview on Unsolved Mysteries. So they're like super deep into it.
Yeah.
So then at this point, the two made the decision to go home and contact the police. So that entire interaction is the inspiration behind Jeepers Creepers. So...
Is that where the stories part?
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
I promise this guy's not quite like a cannibalistic murdering monster that lives in the woods.
So he eats an arm? Yeah.
No. It does snap back to reality after this.
Changing a license plate with one arm would be very difficult. For the record.
Yes, and no eyes.
Or driving in general, and like murdering people. Yeah. No eyes? Jeepers Creepers doesn't have eyes?
You don't know the song? Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those peepers?
Yeah.
Jeepers
Okay,
Creepers,
sorry.
where'd you get those eyes?
Yeah.
I was in band. Can't sing. I digress.
It came through beautifully.
Didn't it?
Yes.
I could imagine.
I just didn't put that song together with the actual movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's where it came from.
Thank you. I know. I now know that.
So this particular episode of Unsolved Mysteries aired on March 20th, 1991. That night in Vicksburg, Mississippi, a sheriff by the name of Paul Barrett and his wife were watching, and so was one Dennis Depew. So let's back up to the events leading up to the airing of that particular Unsolved Mysteries episode. Marilyn and Dennis Depew had an unhappy marriage in the later years of their relationship. After several years and raising 3 children together, the marriage became tense. Dennis became withdrawn and was accusing Marilyn of pitting the children against him. And as for Dennis's treatment of Marilyn, she told her lawyer that Dennis was controlling, trying to ruin her life, and wouldn't allow her to make any decisions of her own. A lot of he said, she said, right?
Yeah, that sounds healthy.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Real healthy.
Yeah.
Especially with what happens next.
Just getting, the kids on my side.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
She wasn't. He was crazy. Marilyn finally worked
Of
up...
course you would say that.
Ouch.
Proceed. He's going to be a murderer or something. I'm going to regret that in 4 minutes.
Yes.
Proceed.
Yes. Marilyn finally worked up the courage to file for divorce. It was finalized in December of 1989, and while Dennis was a total prick, apart from the fact that he actually murdered her...
Whoa, wait, what?
I know, right?
Who did he murder?
He murdered his wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I told you. So it didn't take 4 minutes for you to regret that
They just got
joke.
divorced. I didn't realize they were murdering people already.
Yeah.
Jeez, Dennis, calm your tits.
So it didn't take you 4 minutes. It took you 4 seconds to regret that
No,
joke.
it's been at least, okay. Proceed. You all right over there?
Totally fine.
You shouldn't laugh hysterically for a minute after you say a husband murdered his wife.
No, I'm laughing at you.
And then he murdered her.
Stop. You're going to have to cut that long pause out anyway.
No, it all stays.
Ugh, great listening.
Yep.
So he was allowed bi-weekly visitation rights for the kids who wanted nothing to do with
At
him.
the prison?
No, this was before he murdered her.
Oh,
Yeah.
You made it sound like they got divorced. Then he's like, well, then I murdered her.
Not quite.
Okay.
There's like 4 months in between.
Okay. That was supposed to be foreshadowing. It was very direct, though.
I told you, subpar writings.
No, you're doing great, sweetie.
I was an English major dropout.
I like to slide those sweeties in, just to build.
Build tension
No,
in the
no.
marriage.
No. No, to build your self-esteem.
I really appreciate it.
Nothing like a good sweetie to make you feel good about what you're doing. Okay. Go ahead.
So, they got a divorce. He had not murdered her yet.
Okay.
He was allowed bi-weekly visitations for the kids who wanted nothing to do with him, and they also refused to see him. He was also granted use of their...
bi-weekly or twice weekly?
I don't know. That didn't go into detail.
I'm sure it's every other week.
I'm sure. That... sore subject. He was also granted use of their guest house as an office, and authorities believed that he used this access to a way to maintain control over his family. Marilyn changed the locks on the main house, but he still found a way to enter the home unwanted.
And plot her murder.
He didn't even plot it.
No?
He just fucking snapped.
Oh, good. Is it a crime of passion?
Yeah, it's horrible. Just wait.
Oh, cool.
It gets worse.
I thought this was about some crazy guy 7 sheets into a hole in the ground.
Yeah, bloody sheets.
Was it him?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, quick rewind.
All right.
I thought they were the couple that saw the bloody sheets.
No,
okay.
the couple that saw the bloody sheets.
Siblings that saw him with the blood. Oh, okay.
Yes, the sibling. It's confusing because the one sibling's name is Mary, and the lady who got murdered was Marilyn.
No, that's not where I was confused.
Am I just that bad of a writer?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just wasn't paying attention.
Clearly.
We need pictures.
We can do that next time.
Okay.
So, the morning of this horrific event, April 15th, 1990, Dennis was scheduled to pick the kids up for his visitation.
I was 2. I'm just going to tell how old I was at every event you said.
That sounds fantastic.
Oh, wait, no, I wasn't 2 yet.
You were like a year and a half.
I was almost 2. Proceed.
So, like 22 months.
Yes.
So, at this point, he was only picking up 2 out of the 3 children because the youngest outright refused to leave with her father. When he finally arrived at the house...
For her.
Yes. When he finally arrived at the house...
Put your tiny foot down. I assume she's like 4. I don't know.
I think she really was.
Was she?
Yeah, she was like 4 or 6. She was.
Yeah.
I didn't write down her ages or their names because I didn't.
They're good judges of character at that age. They're like a dog. They know.
Yes. When he finally arrived at the house, the oldest son also refused to go with him. So this triggered good old Dennis, and he flew into a rage. So I have a feeling that Marilyn's side of the story might be an accurate depiction of their marriage.
Well, she's dead now, so.
Too soon. Marilyn...
In 30 years.
Still too soon. Marilyn tried talking to him. In response, he became angry and started yelling at her. Next, he grabbed her and pushed her down the stairs.
Oh, okay.
Gets worse. At the bottom of the staircase, he continued to beat her, while the children were watching, pleading with him to stop.
Oh, that's not, like, traumatic for anybody.
No. Nope. So the oldest daughter ran to a neighbor's house to call the police. Next, Dennis carried a very seriously injured Marilyn up the stairs he had just pushed her down. He proceeded to tell his children...
I was really waiting for you to say you pushed her back down the stairs.
No.
Okay, good. Good.
No.
Good.
Nope. It gets worse. He proceeded to tell his children that he was going to take Mom to the hospital, and surprise, surprise, they never showed up to the hospital, so a widespread search for the pair immediately ensued. This is when Ray and Mary, the other couple,
the
siblings,
okay, yep,
from the beginning,
we're good.
Yep, on track?
Yep,
good.
We're there.
Stepped into the picture. Dennis driving like a madman, hiding evidence in his estranged wife's body, apparently leaving behind enough witnesses in the process. So the next day, April 16th, highway workers found the body of Marilyn Depew, which I wish I found her maiden name, but I couldn't find it. So they found her body at an abandoned church 5 miles away from the old schoolhouse where the sheet was half-ass buried.
So wait, they found Depew at the church? Sorry. I couldn't let that go. Proceed.
That was terrible.
Thank you.
Yep.
I don't know if you wrote it, but just set me up for it. But.
No, I didn't write it. These are the literal facts of the case.
Okay. Depew's at the church.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. After an autopsy, it was discovered that she had died from a single gunshot wound to the back of the head.
Oh, wow, that escalated?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
So at this point, Dennis seemed to have gone off the deep end a bit.
And he's got a gun. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. A few days later, after disappearing, he sent several rambling letters, and I quote, to his friends and family. He tried to justify Marilyn's murder. So in the article I was reading, it said death, but let's not sugarcoat it. It was a murder. He murdered his ex-wife after beating her in front of his kids because he just wasn't getting his way. Just really want to make sure people know that he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So Dennis sent a total of 17 letters, all postmarked from different states, including Virginia, Iowa, and Oklahoma.
Okay.
To his family members.
Yep. So he's on the move.
Yep.
Okay.
So while on the lam, Dennis gave himself an alias.
Found him called on the lam.
I don't know.
You would not get very far on a lamb.
No.
They are not that strong.
No.
Or fast. Mm-mm. Okay. Anyway, that's for another podcast.
maybe we'll do the next episode as to why it's called lamb.
On the lamb.
Yes. I'm gonna look up the etymology of on the lamb. Etymology? Yes.
That's for a different podcast.
Yep.
Tell me something never mind. I don't know words. That's why we're not doing a podcast on word origin.
No.
Because I don't know them.
So Dennis gave himself an alias, found himself a girlfriend, and settled down with her in Dallas, Texas.
If Dennis's alias is Ray, I'm done because I'm already confused.
No, but you're going to love it. This finally leads up to the night that Dennis got caught. So March 20th, 1991, the episode aired. A Mary, is her pseudonym, arrived at her home in Dallas just in time to meet her boyfriend, Hank Queen.
Hank Queen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who informed her that he needed to leave soon because his mother was sick. She made him some sandwiches for the trip, and he began packing a suitcase, all the while distracting her from what was on TV. A few minutes later, he left in his van. Later that night, Mary learned that her boyfriend was a murdering piece of garbage, and a friend of Mary's called the telecenter for the unsolved mysteries.
Hank, how could you?
Yes. Mysteries to give him the Texas plate number that had been on his van. And of course, the plate was stolen.
Naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, he's got like 12 of them in there.
So, Dennis, after watching the Unsolved Mysteries program, headed to Louisiana. About himself.
Okay, yep.
Yes. Headed to Louisiana. And this is where Sheriff Paul Barrett enters the scene. Louisiana state troopers spotted Dennis's van and tried to pull him over. He then led them to a 15-mile long speed... Wow. He then led them on...
Nope.
In. Yep.
He led them in.
Yes. On a 15-mile long high-speed chase crossing state lines into Mississippi. Sheriff Barrett said they set up roadblocks at the end of the Interstate 20 bridge that crosses over the Mississippi River, and he gave orders not to shoot him, but to only shoot out the tires of his van. And then at 3:15 a.m., the Louisiana police informed Mississippi authorities that there was a man with stolen plates refusing to follow police orders to stop. While the officers and deputies were waiting for the van at the roadblock, they were then informed by the FBI that the driver of the van was wanted for murder. So once Dennis shows up on the bridge, he just plowed through the roadblock. Officers managed to shoot out 2 tires. He then continued speeding down some side streets in Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Just on his rims, just sparks everywhere. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Yep. So with a trail of police officers close behind him.
And sparks.
Yep. Dennis is apparently a big fan of defensive driving because he proceeded to ram a cop car and shot at the police 3 times. Once Barrett the sheriff heard that Dennis was shooting at the officers, he gave the order to take him out. So Barrett then pulled up behind the van and opened fire with his machine gun while other officers...
Wait, which one has the machine gun?
The sheriff.
The sheriff's got a machine
gun. Yes.
So you're down on the bayou,
yes.
And this dude just gets out of his police car with a machine gun.
Yes.
Normal. Okay,
yep.
Cool. He's playing mobster.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, though? He caught the guy. Yes.
Normal.
Yep.
Okay.
While other officers exchanged fire with Dennis. So once the shooting stopped...
All the while side-eyeing the sheriff who just walked out with a machine gun, like, where the hell did you get that from, chief?
So once the shooting stopped, another officer rushed up to the driver's side door and pulled it open, only to find that Dennis was dead, with
Can't imagine why.
Yeah. No, it gets better.
He's got 97 bullets lodged in his body.
Not a one hit him.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, sheriff needs to learn how to shoot before he just pulls out the belt-fed machine gun.
Well, I was reading that he had shoved his van full of like suitcases and bags and clothing and stuff like that, so like nothing was penetrating. They were just getting slowed down and stopped inside of all the crap that was in his van.
So he's a hoarder.
No, I think he knew what he was doing.
He's got McDonald's wrappers everywhere.
Yes.
This will save me.
So, only to find Dennis dead, and I quote, with the .357 Magnum in his left hand and the thumb on the trigger, end quote. According to the preliminary examination of the body, it was determined that the bullet from the 357.
Yep.
I'm from the country, I swear. Had entered his mouth and came out the back of his head. So it was suicide.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That'd be a heck of a shot by a cop.
It would be. So it was also noted by Sheriff Barrett, and I quote, "That means it was a suicide because our bullets would not have gone in that direction."
Correct.
Yes.
No ballistics report needed.
Yeah. That was very astute.
Did they test the blood spatter? See, I said it right that time.
So proud of you.
Yeah, no L in that spatter.
No. So Barrett is quoted in the AP News article about the shootout, saying, "My wife and I had watched the TV program about him, and the next morning I am with other officers firing into his van."
With a machine gun.
Yes.
Not just fire my pistol. I got to shoot my machine gun, guys.
Yep. I'd say that's not going to happen every day. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about Marilyn. According to her obituary, Marilyn was born in Detroit on January 24th, 1941. A daughter to Dallas, that doesn't seem right, A. McClanahan, and Betty McClanahan. Which in hindsight, I guess, is her maiden name, right?
Yeah. I was going to say, a guy can't be named Dallas? Like, isn't that like, wasn't there a show named Dallas? Oh, that was in the 20s. That's not the thing yet.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway.
She sounds Irish.
Yeah, she does. She was a school counselor at Coldwater High School, and she has 3 surviving children. She was buried at the Oakland Hills Cemetery, and the memorial funds for her funeral were asked to go directly to the Maryland DePue Memorial College Fund at Coldwater High School.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully her kids had lots of therapy, and they're doing well now.
I hope so.
Yeah. I imagine, the trauma. I can't.
No. I told you it was going to get worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I started light with the first one.
Uh-huh.
In a news article...
Can we talk about snowstorms again?
Yeah.
Seems pleasant.
Yes. In a news article I found on newspaper.com, it says, "Friends remember Marilyn as someone who didn't let her marital problems keep her from being a good worker and a good mother." And in a somewhat related side note, I have another terrible thing to tell you.
Oh, great.
Oh, yes. The old schoolhouse that Dennis tried to dispose the evidence at, built in 1908, had been used to house
Is that the
sheep.
church with the pew in it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, this is the school building where he hid the sheet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the animal hole, not the animal. So it was built in 1908. It had been used to house sheep and was owned by a Dave Huber, was the subject of a probable arson fire. Someone set fire to the straw, but with fast-acting neighbors, it was quickly called in, and the firefighters arrived on scene soon after. Luckily, there was only minor damage to the building, but there are tons of broken windows and doors and a shit ton of storm damage to the old building, and most likely squatters, since neighbors also report seeing people in the building, which was also littered with a bunch of, like, an old mattress and a bunch of beer cans. So
Probably super haunted.
Yeah, do you want to go check it out?
No.
Oh, what a bummer. It's close by, maybe like 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, depending on where we live in this state, away from us.
Yeah, because nobody knows.
No one knows. How do you feel?
I feel fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So,
The gunshot was the most surprising part. I just assumed the staircase and the bludgeoning was going to kill her.
Mm-mm.
The gunshot seems a little overkill. Well,
Yeah.
overkill. That's
choose your words wiser.
A little too on the nose.
Yes.
But no. I thought the machine gun was going to get him though. But you did say suicide.
I did.
I guess I should have known.
Mm-hmm.
But why? I don't get. I mean, I guess he just don't want to be in jail.
Yeah, that's exactly why. He didn't want to deal with the charges. He knew he was going to go to jail.
Yeah, he was SOL.
Yeah.
We don't have the death penalty here, though, do we? No. You just spent life in prison.
No. Michigan was one of the first states to abolish the death penalty.
I wonder what year that was.
I don't know.
Before 90. Or
Yes,
91
definitely. But I think before 1900s. I'll have to look it up.
So his kids are like our age.
Mm-hmm.
That's, yeah.
I mean, a little older than us, but yeah.
Yeah, similar-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's terrible.
Yep.
All right. Well, episode 1, pretty chill. Episode 2, a little less chill. Episode 3, she's probably going to talk about the Holocaust. Who knows?
Ouch. That's not going to escalate that quickly, but thank you.
Okay, good. Because then I don't know where we go from there.
No.
Mass extinction.
Yes. Well, we're working on it.
Yeah. Yeah. But we appreciate you guys listening. If you listened. If you got to this point, you're like a real OG. Episode 2, minute 30, whatever.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah. You're pretty terrible. And we mean that in a good way. But, all right. You good?
I'm good.
All right. See you guys next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
So the sources I used for this story was an article in the AP News written in 1991, Unsolved Mysteries, and unsolvedmysteriesfandom.com/wiki, The Daily Reporter, lostinmichigan.net, newspapers.com, findagrave.com, and a YouTube video posted by Anders YDNA. Oof, that was terrible.